Hello there. Over the past 5 years, I've been looking for ways to make music digitally. Now, before I started doing this 5 years ago, I had 9 years of accordion lessons and taught myself a piano piece or two, meaning I can now quite easily use a MIDI keyboard when producing. This also helps me to be able to come up with melodies and rhythms. I would like to share with you my experience over the last 5 years and some of the programs I used and some of the terrible music pieces I've made. Luckily, they do get better, and I feel like my pieces are getting to a point where they are listenable. Not professional, but listenable. In about 1 year, I will start a music producer study in which I will learn everything I need to know in order to take my productions to a professional level. I'm planning on doing an update video during that study and showing my improvement. So when I was 17, I started looking for ways to make music, and I remember thinking it would be cool to make beats. What I ended up with was Noteflight. Noteflight is a free-to-use web page where you can make sheet music. The notes you type in can be played back, and the file can be exported as a MP3 or WAV file. This is how I used to make my pieces. Here are some of the pieces I made. I later made 2 albums that I put on CDs and handed out to family and friends. After using Noteflight for about 2 years, I was fortunate enough to get some advice from a friend of mine. He told me to use MuseScore, which is also music notation software but has more options than Noteflight and sounds better. Some of the pieces I made in MuseScore also made it onto my second album. Here are some of the pieces I made. For the first time, I could use faders, which changed the volume of individual instruments, making this the first song that I mixed. That's really stretching the definition of mixing, but it was a step in the right direction. During my use of MuseScore, I also explored LMMS, which already looks a lot more like a proper DAW. I didn't really like the sound of it and thought the learning curve was a bit steep, so I quickly stopped using it. Here is a piece I made in LMMS. I also had a YouTube channel on which I posted some of my pieces. I had an intro on there for which I used LMMS. After a lot of honest and friendly feedback from friends, I realized I could never get to where I really wanted to be by using MuseScore. So, a bit more than a year ago, I bought FL Studio the Producer Edition. Since then, I've learned a lot about mixing and arranging songs. For the first time ever, I started using plugins, which are external pieces of software that you can load into your program. Some of the plugins emulate real instruments, others consist of recordings of real instruments. Some are for effects and others are for automation. FL Studio has by far the steepest learning curve of all the programs I've used. However, a lot of famous artists use this software to this day, and that motivated me a lot to learn how to use it. I still work in FL Studio today and intend to do so until the foreseeable future. It is a professional DAW. I've used FL Studio for over a year now and have made about 120 projects. Here are some of the earlier projects I've made. After a while, I learned how to use EQs, reverb, sidechaining, and automation. I also started using reference tracks to compare my pieces to. This can help when you are trying to make the structure of your song. Here are some of my more recent pieces. I've never truly finished a song since that requires a lot of mixing, stem mixing, and then some mastering, and I'm not really able to do all of that yet. I've also never really seriously recorded vocals and edited them. I hope to improve a lot in sound design and mixing in general. I want to be able to manipulate audio so I can make it sound exactly the way I have it in my head. That way I can truly make my ideas come to life. Next video you will see a big improvement in my pieces. See you then.